We hope the truth comes out.
John Cornell and Angel Carmen in their living room, shocked with the realization that their son is in custody, arrested in a sting operation and charged with plotting to blow up the U.S. Capitol.
Chris has never been out of Cincinnati. I believe he was coerced into a lot of this stuff. I believe that this so-called snitch filled his head with a lot of stuff.
John Cornell says that his son recently took up an interest in Islam but emphasized its peaceful qualities and never mentioned ISIS.
My son is not a monster. I'm not just saying that because he's my son. If I thought he was up to something, I would have beat his butt, and I would have been the first one to turn him in.
The 20-year-old was first brought to the FBI's attention several months ago after social media posts talking about violent jihad. They say Cornell planned to detonate pipe bombs around the Capitol and then shoot people as they fled. But a man Cornell believed would be his partner in the plot was actually an FBI informant. The FBI says Cornell told the informant he had contacts overseas, that he had aligned himself with ISIS and believed lawmakers were his enemy. The criminal complaint says Cornell did not think he would receive ISIS authorization to conduct a terrorist attack in the United States, but he wanted to wage jihad on his own, writing, "I believe we should meet up and make our own group in alliance with the Islamic State here and plan operations ourselves." According to investigators, he researched the targeted government buildings and the construction of pipe bombs. Wednesday, Cornell purchased 2 AR-15s and 600 rounds of ammunition from this gun store in Cincinnati before FBI agents arrested him in the parking lot. The gun store owner, who was working with authorities, described Cornell's demeanor.
Well-spoken but soft-spoken, lots of questions. He's a little chatty. If I hadn't been given any kind of warning ahead of time, I probably would not have suspected he was up to what he was doing.
CNN has repeatedly reached out to Cornell's court-appointed attorney, but has not received any response. Cornell's bedroom, which he shared with his brother, seemingly that of a typical young man, with movie posters and video games. The principal at the high school he attended and where he wrestled described Cornell to CNN as a normal student, saying, "Christopher was not a disruption or a discipline problem in school, a quiet but not overly reserved student who would participate in class and did not withdraw from his classwork." But now authorities are tracing the steps of the young man accused of a plot to attack his own country.